Fashion telephone calls. Well, there are a dizzying number of choices and a lot of things you might want to consider before choosing your next mobile device. We've got Consumer Reports has rated the cell phones on the market today, and its electronics editor, Paul Reynolds, is now joining us with information about the cream of the crop. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
So, listen, even with the recession, the sales of smartphones is rising. Is this because of all the bells and whistles? What explains this? They're not cheap.
Right. Advanced features, when we surveyed people who were buying cell phones among our readers, advanced features led the way in terms of what people want. And the smartphones are the ones that really allow you to do all of the things pretty much that you can do on a computer in your pocket, as well as other things like the additional apps that you can add that allow you to turn your smartphone into just about anything. So they're the phones of choice if you really want to be able to do your office email, to surf the web with a really good web browser and do a whole bunch of other things.
Now, you can actually, there are actually applications where you could monitor your caloric intake. I mean, it's crazy what they're offering.
Exactly.
But the question is, when you see all of that, you get all excited about all the possibilities. You say actually stop for a second and take a look at actually what you really need, because you're going to spend a lot more money for that.
One of the things you really need to keep in mind is when you get one of these sophisticated phones, the more sophisticated the phone in general, the more it's going to cost you in service. And more now, the manufacturers, if the phone has the capability for things like 3G, which is fast access to the web, they're going to make you get a data plan, even if you don't use web surfing very much or use your email. So be careful about the cost. The long-term cost is probably more important, the monthly cost, than the purchase price of these phones.
Okay, let's break it down. Talk about the specific kinds of phones. There is the standard phone, and your magazine took a look at the best standard phones, and you basically rated a couple of them as being really in the top category. I think we have them here on the table.
Right.
The LG NV Touch.
The LG NV Touch. And both of these phones are examples of how even standard phones are getting more sophisticated.
The other is a Samsung Instinct.
Samsung Instinct. And more of these are getting keyboards, because people are using texting a lot more. So you're getting full keyboards even on so-called conventional phones. So these are both examples of these, both good performers. And you can see they both have, this one has two screens to it. You open up and do a texting screen. You have a screen on the outside for your basic navigation. So these are good choices if you do a lot of texting, if you want a combination of voice calls and texting, and you want generally a lower service cost and a lower purchase price than you'll get with, say, the smartphones. Like
okay,
these.
Let's take a look at the smartphones, because it's hard not to look at them. We've got the iPhone, of course, and then this new little guy.
This is the Nexus One, the Google phone. Both of these did very well in our ratings. This has the biggest screen that we've seen on a phone, and it has great navigation. It also allows you to dictate. So, for example, you can send a text message just by speaking to it, and it'll turn that into text and send it out as a message.
Really? That's pretty remarkable. Is it pretty fast? Is it accurate?
It's pretty fast, fairly accurate. This, of course, is the iPhone 3GS, one of the original phones that really turned the phone into a very versatile device, and still a very high performer, great display, a lot of great features, and has the most apps still. All those tens of thousands of apps. It's growing for things like the Nexus One, but it's really the iPhone still has the most.
Also on your list of good smartphones, you've got the Samsung Moment, the Motorola Droid, and the BlackBerry Bolt. But, you know, a lot of people are concerned about the quality of the telephone call using these smartphones. Is that still a problem, or is that a problem with the phone, or is it maybe a problem with the service?
Well, it's a combination of both. Certainly, voice quality is one thing. We've seen a lot of things improve in cell phones over the years. Voice quality has pretty much stayed much the same.
But dropout seems to be increasing.
Dropouts in some of these services, certainly there are differences in carriers in our ratings, and we've got satisfaction ratings from users, and there is a real range, with some companies more satisfactory for a lot of different kinds of service than others.
Okay, so you have that in your magazine.
I have it in the magazine,
okay, now
on the website.
Because we want to move on to this prepaid category. This is a rising category.
Correct.
And basically so that you don't have to have the monthly plans, which a lot of people are worried about. They don't like to get stuck in a monthly plan. In this case, it's just basically like how does it exactly work? You just buy the phone and you pay for it as you go?
You buy the phone, you buy these phones at Walmart or Kmart or Best Buy. You have no contractual obligation, and you can get two kinds of service. You can either pay as you go by the minute, or you can get an unlimited plan, which is not that much different than, say, a basic plan with a contract carrier. You just don't have a contract. You're not bound to it. You can cancel anytime.
Is this the best thing for your money if you don't need all the applications?
If you're just making voice calls, this is a great thing to do, particularly if you don't make a lot of voice calls such that it's worth $40 or so a month for your service. You'll save quite a lot if you go to one of these phones.
Okay, and the LG Rumor 2 and the Samsung T301G, these are getting harder to say, and Nokia 2610 are the options that you like, the top options you like for that.
Right.
All right.
And this is the Motorola and a Samsung as well. These are also did well
Paul
in our
Reynolds,
tests.
thanks so much for making it all clear for us.
Thank you so
much. It's very
much.
complicated these days. And coming up next, we're going to find out what the latest